All right, now let's take what we've got and put it together, but before we do, let's catch an error. I had a minus sign here that I didn't bring forward to here. So this is like that. I might have bamboozled myself, but in any case, came through, did a little bit of practice stuff, and it passes the smell test. So let's go ahead and start from where we left off with that one correction. So we've got our DKDL from the budget constraint, and we've got our DKDL from the isoquant. Now, when we put these together, what we have is minus W over R equals minus, put that in parentheses, minus 1 minus alpha over alpha times K to the L. And then from here, we can rearrange and find out the ratio of capital to labor. We find that ratio, then we backtrack into here, and that will give us a specific solution for each individual problem. So let me pull some problems up here. So I've got the numbers in front of me. There we go. So for question 1, alpha is 1/3. W is 1, R is 1, so we've got negative 1 over 1 equals negative 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3 over an alpha of 1/3 times K over L. These negative signs, they're going to cancel. This is just 1. This is going to be 2 over 1. So we've got 1 equals 2 times K over L, which means we cross multiply and we get L equals 2K. Now this was for Q equals K to the 1/3, L to the 2/3. So essentially what's going on here is labor is twice as productive as capital. So since the two cost the same, we want to use twice as much labor as we use capital. So we've got a 1:2 ratio for question 1, and since K plus L is 200, let me be really lazy for a second. This is approximately equal to 210. Since we got 1 part to 2 parts, this is divisible by 3. So essentially we're saying we would want 70 units of capital and 140 units of labor approximately. We'd have a little bit less than that, so we can shed that down, but we're looking for numbers a little bit less than that. This is just me being lazy with the math because I don't want to calculate a specific number. For the quiz, show your work and take your time. You'll get this. If you have to rush it and you do it approximately, as long as you do it the right way, I'm happy enough with that. We're looking at Q2. Now it gets a little bit trickier. So now we've got negative W is 3, R is 2. This is equal to 1 minus alpha, where alpha is 3/5. So we got 2/5 over 3/5 times capital over labor. Right, it's the same basic function. We're just swapping out the values. This simplifies to 3 over 2 equals 2 over 3 times capital over labor. 3 times 3 over 2 times 2 equals capital over labor equals 9 over 4. So we've got this ratio. Capital is going to be 9/4 as much capital. We're going to use 9/4 as many units of capital as we use of labor. So we're using relatively more capital. Why? Because 2K plus 3L, capital is relatively cheap, and our function is K to the 3/5, L to the 2/5. So capital is relatively productive compared to labor. So we definitely want to be using more because of these two basic things. If the price was exactly the same, then we'd end up with a ratio of 3:2 instead of 9:4. But because we have this double whammy of this price advantage, we end up going a little bit further. All right, so there we had 2k plus 3l is 150. So if our k is that, then we can say 2 times 9/4 L plus 3L equals 150. Now we got a little bit of algebra to do here. L 3 plus 2 times 9/4 equals 150. This is what, 18 over 4. This would be 12 over 4 equals 150. 3, I know that. 18 divided by 4 is not quite 5. So let's be lazy again. So if we call this 3 plus 5 equals 150 approximately, then L is approximately 150 divided by 8, which is less than 15. I'm not going to do the specific math, but it's going to be, well, let's be extra lazy. Call that 15. Then your capital in that case, so if we've got 3 times about 15, and then 2 times whatever our ratio is for that. Actually, here, let's solve it this way. 2k equals 150 divided by 45. K equals, and that's about 3. That feels weird. This is why we shouldn't do back of the envelope math too hastily. In any case, you've been watching too much of this. I'm not going to bore you with the specific details for the quiz. This is why you want to show your work. If your answer is approximately correct, I'm fine. Even if it's wildly off. Maybe I made a stupid mistake here. If you make the same stupid mistake, I'm not going to penalize you for that. Show your work. Get it approximately correct, but get it in the right basic method. And again, that boils down to we're equating our slopes, which we're finding from our isoquant and our budget constraint. Equating the slopes basically lets us find the ratio, right? So when our exponents and our prices are such that we want, say, a 50-50 ratio, we're just going to ask, where do we get 50-50 on this budget constraint? If we're expecting 9/4 capital to labor, we want to be 9/4 of the way up this line. I've been doing too much of this. My brain is frazzled, so I'm not going to make you guys watch me work my way through all my mistakes. I trust you guys are going to be able to figure this out, but if you have questions, let me know in the usual places. If you catch any mistakes, please share. And if you share those quickly, hopefully I can add an extra video to this little playlist. Thanks again for your patience. I will talk to you in the future.